Hi, everyone. This is my teacher autobiography, and I am Charlie Gibson. So, a little bit about me is I graduated from BGSU in 2016 with an adolescent young adult integrated science degree. So, I've been graduated for about 5 years now almost. Um, I just finished my fourth year of teaching, and I completed my RESA this last year. I didn't think it was too bad, and it seems like they made it pretty simple for teachers now. My first 3 years I taught at Firelands High School, which was very different from when I grew up and where I've been. I've always been around the city near Cleveland, but I took my first job at Firelands High School straight out of Bowling Green, and this is a very rural, small district. Each graduating class had about 100 kids, and it was very nice, close knit community, and it was a really good 3 years for me to start there because I had a very good supporting teacher, supporting administration, and I had a really good time there. I wanted to stay there at least 3 years to get most of my RESA done because I had a good mentor teacher. And then my fourth year of teaching, I decided to start look for a place a little bit closer to home. And I live near Cleveland, so I took the job at Mentor High School. So Mentor is one of the biggest schools in Ohio, so it's suburban and large, so almost the complete opposite of where I started. I had a very good year there. It was very different. They had a lot more students, obviously, and they had a lot more money. So there was a lot more technology, a lot nicer classrooms. So it was very different. It's been a great year, and the end was a little different because of Corona. But I will be there next year, and it will probably be strange again because of Corona. But I'm enjoying my time there, and I really love it there. I coached track all 4 years, so all 4 years I've taught. I've been blessed to be able to also coach track, and I've really enjoyed that, and it's helped me connect with students over the years. I've taught mostly chemistry and biology. Chemistry is my favorite, and I've taught that all 4 years. I've also taught biology, astronomy, geology, some college chemistry, some physical science. So I taught almost every science class there is, especially when I was at Firelands because there was only 4 science teachers in the school, so we all had to teach a lot, just based on the numbers each year. But my main focus mentor is basically going to be chemistry. So eventually I'm going to be almost all chemistry, which I am happy about. So that's how I started out my teaching career and a little bit about me. So why did I become a teacher? The first thing I think I knew, and I'm pretty sure I wanted to be a teacher even before high school, but I kind of narrowed it down to say when I was in high school, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. I just love learning so much, whether that was learning about science or learning about anything really. I enjoyed sitting in class, doing activities in class, and I just enjoyed the social environment of school. I enjoyed learning new things, and that continued in college. So in college, I love learning new things. Doesn't matter what class I was taking, I still loved and enjoyed learning. And I knew I wanted to be a teacher, so that's why I chose Bowling Green because I had such a good teaching program. So I knew I was going there. I also loved helping others. So with learning, I liked helping others learn. It just felt very good to help others learn something, and then you feel passionate about helping them achieve their goals. I continued that in Bowling Green. I worked at the Learning Commons, which was basically like a tutor. And that really helped me, again, see that I liked helping others learn and continue my teaching career. I chose science because I always loved science from an early age because you were able to play with things, you were able to manipulate things, a lot of hands-on stuff. So I always liked science. I also was interested in learning about the world, and that's why I chose science as my teaching. I originally just went into chemistry, but I decided to do integrated to teach all the sciences. And I think the best thing about why I became a teacher is I never really second guessed my career. I think a lot of people out of college, they get into a career that they envisioned, they don't really like it, and they end up changing. I've never really felt that with science or with science teacher because I've loved every day of it, and I continue to love it, and I'm very happy that I've never had to second guess my career, and I love everything about it. So that is something very positive about knowing I always wanted to be a teacher. How has it been so far? It's been great in my first 2 districts. Both districts were, I had great teachers, I had great administration. Students were all so like I was saying, my students were really great, and it's been very successful. I think it's been so successful because I'm a person who embraces change, and I've definitely noticed that when changes happen, there's a lot of teachers that freak out, stress out, don't like changes. I guess I'm not really that person, so it hasn't been a big issue for me because that's always happening in teaching, like especially with COVID right now. I don't let the small things get to me, so I'm a person who, like I said, if something new policy or something's happening in the school, I don't really let it get to me because I know it's not really a huge deal, and I've just always been that person that doesn't let it bother me. And I think the greatest point about teaching so far is the students have been welcoming at both my districts. I enjoy teaching, and I think they enjoy learning from me. So it's just been very positive so far. So people who inspire me, I would say my biggest inspiration when it comes to teaching is fellow teachers who work hard at what they do. So if I see another science teacher who is doing something innovating in their classroom, that inspires me a lot to work harder and try to do what they do. Or if I see a teacher that's successful in implementing something that they needed to, it really does inspire me to try to succeed like those teachers. And I would say the most inspiration I have gotten has been from other teachers, whether they're encouraging, whether they just teach and students love them, has really inspired me to try to do better and be like those teachers. Students, I would say the students who want to succeed inspire me because they might not be the best learners, but I've worked with some students who have lower grades in other classes, but they work hard in my class and they're able to succeed. And I guess that inspires me to show that anyone can be successful if they want to be. And then last, I put administrators that give support. Any administrators that are working hard to support their teachers are always a big inspiration to all the teachers in the district. And I've been blessed to have that in both my districts, which is nice. My best experiences, I would say when I thought of experiences, the best one I had was a student who he was a junior by the time I met him, very low grades, wasn't on the path to graduate. He was in two of my classes because he was retaking some from the year before. And I got to know the student, and I figured out he really liked chess. So he liked to play chess. And at the end of the day, I said, every Friday, if you have all passing grades, you can come to my classroom at the end of the school and we could play a couple of games of chess. And it started out as like a small motivational tool. And then he kept coming to my class because he kept getting good grades. And eventually we became to be good friends. And he was successful and he ended up graduating school because he was working hard at first to play chess. And then I think he kind of felt that it was easier than he thought, and he just didn't have the support that he used to have or that he needed to have. And once he had the support from me, um, he was able to succeed and graduate. So I would say that was probably my best experience so far. And what it really came down to was just getting to know and caring about your students. It wasn't anything super special with teaching technique. It was just getting to reach out to your students, especially the ones that maybe people have prior expectations or certain views on them before they even get to know them. I found my best practices have been inquiry labs, so basically student workshops that we read about in this class, where students are working hands-on, they're doing things, I'm walking around with guiding questions, but they're doing a lot of the work. Formative assessment has always been good, and it's been talked about in this class. It just shows me what I need to teach, how students are doing, how fast they're moving. Group work, we talked about collaboration all through this class. It's worked really well for me. Most of my tables are in groups of 3, and there's 4 chairs at the table, and I usually tell them the 4th chair is for me because that's when I'm going to come around and help their group, ask questions, see how they're doing. So this course has taught me to use more reflection in my lessons. I would say that's the biggest thing I need to work on, is maybe if something doesn't go as well, or maybe if I thought something worked really well, I don't always reflect on it and write down my thoughts. So when it comes by the time next year, sometimes I do the exact same thing. So I think the best thing I need to do is reflect more on my lessons to what might be good, what might be bad, what might be better fixes. That's really something I want to work on after taking this class and seeing how important it can be. So the past and the future. The first year was a lot of worksheets. So I would say my first year as a teacher, I was teaching like 3 preps, and I was kind of in the mode to I just need to get stuff done so I can make sure I'm teaching what I need to teach. So that first year was a lot of worksheets because I was just working through, and maybe I didn't have enough time to prepare. Now that I've gotten through my first couple of years, I have a lot of materials to use for all my classes. So now I'm more focused on labs and group work. So a lot of the things I do are through labs or interactive work, whether they're using whiteboards, or doing a like workshop or guided thinking. All that goes into my planning now. My biggest goal for the future would definitely, like I said earlier, using more reflection on lessons. So I don't want to fall in the trap of it seems like a lot of teachers do the same thing every year. If they have the same class, it's just repeat, repeat, repeat. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure to reflect on my lessons, see what I can do better, maybe find better lessons, something that doesn't work. Maybe I find something that worked really great and try to use it more. It's something I definitely want to work on. Something else I want to work on is more open discussion, whole class discussion. Um, while my classes work in groups a lot, I find that there's not a whole bunch of me just asking questions and students responding in like an open forum or a debate or stuff like that. So I do want to try more of that. Um, and then more gradual release. So we learned about in the class about gradual release. I think that will help a lot when teaching hard concepts in chemistry. So I hope to work on that. And then I would say my last thing is just to continue to get to know my students and their aspirations as learners. Um, Most of my great experiences have come from knowing students, how no matter how diverse they are, or prior experiences, stuff like that. It's always good to get to know my students because you don't really know who they are until you actually talk to them and get to know them. So I just want to continue to do that through my next couple of years and make sure I'm continuing to get to know them to help them be successful in my class. So I would say I'm happy where I am right now. I know there's always room for improvement, and that's what I want to keep on doing and keep striving to be a better educator. And I know the near future is going to be very different because of COVID, what everything's going to be like. So it's going to be a little bit harder to get to know students. So I just have to try to find new ways to keep that going. So thank you for watching, and